Most people think that AI search is about prompting better or optimizing your content. It's not. We generated over $100,000 for a Shopify brand using ChatGPT, and not because I'm an AEO or GEO expert or because I used any fancy AI tracking tools, but because I actually introduced a few new tactics to the brand, and almost nobody is talking about these. Now, if you sell anything online or you're a self-proclaimed AEO, AI SEO expert, whatever you want to call yourself, this next part will probably piss you off. It was so damn easy. We didn't hire any AEO experts, we didn't pay for any expensive tools, and we didn't rewrite every single page on the website. And everything I did, you can start copying today. Let's first talk about who benefits the most from AEO/AI search. On the consumer side, I would say lazy people. People who want to buy something, but they don't want to do the research, read through all the reviews, things like that. Okay. On the brand side, capitalizing on that same lazy consumer, high ticket, highly technical products. Okay. Think about expensive purchase where people want to outsource their thinking, their research. Average consumer is already going to be stressed as hell about spending $300, $400, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Okay. That is going to weigh literally on their mental bandwidth. They are not going to have the ability to think about that and also go do the research to find the right product. That may leave them susceptible to buying a bad product because they just want to get it over with. Okay. High ticket, if you can be present in AI, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever, I think you have a very real possibility to make a lot of money through this engine. Okay. Again, this case study, ChatGPT generated $110,000. I just released an interview with the head of their eCommerce literally last week. Check that out. Other brands that can benefit, highly technical products, supplements, skincare, beauty. Now, maybe to a consumer interested in those products, maybe not as technical, right? For me, as a man, I don't know anything about those spaces, okay? What I see are hundreds of thousands of options to choose from. You walk into Sephora, you walk into Ulta, they're all selling the same thing, different ingredients, different use cases, different benefits, whatever. How on earth are you meant to choose from those kinds of things? Like that many options. So let ChatGPT sort through those options based on what you tell it. So like I have X kind of skin, I'm looking for, ABC, whatever, as well as what it already knows about you, and let it sort through all those options to find you 3 or 4 or 5 products that might be a good fit. All of a sudden you go from 1,000 options to 5. Okay, much easier to make that decision. Okay. Now I tweeted about this exact same thing a few weeks ago, kind of like teasing this case study that I'm obviously publishing right now. As I said, I think high ticket e-com brands are the most primed to grow via AI SEO. Again, people are lazy, they don't want to do their own research, they want AI to do it for them. I also want to add highly technical products to this tweet and obviously this video now. Our case study was both high ticket and highly technical, okay, as a pool heater. Now, imagine like just these scenarios. You want to buy a $10,000 sauna, much easier for ChatGPT to read through the reviews of the top 10 products as opposed to you doing it manually, okay? What would take you hours, days, weeks will now take minutes. You want to buy a pool heater or a heat pump for your pool in Arizona? Great. Perplexity will compare prices and long-term energy costs of both to help you decide, okay? Not just how much you're going to spend, but how much you're going to save over time. Want to build a home gym? Great. Give ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, your budget and your fitness goals. It'll go and pick products off the internet that fit both. All of a sudden, you've got a home gym, okay? Months of planning, weeks of planning, days of planning, whatever, and all of the mental stress that comes with it for consumers can now be reduced to a few minutes, an hour on the maximum. So thinking about like a sauna company, a pool heater company, a home gym company, like high ticket stuff where you have weeks, months. I've even worked with companies that have over a year-long conversion window. It can now be a few days because people actually have all the answers and all of the resources at their fingertips, okay? This is much different than what it's traditionally been with Google, where you have to go do all of that legwork yourself. Now, here's what we didn't do to generate $110,000 from ChatGPT for this brand. We actually didn't pay for any of the AI rank tracking tools. I tried several of them throughout the months, 3 or 4 of them that I got free demos for, that I got free trials for. I hated all of them, quite frankly. They all reported massively different findings, so we stuck with GA4 data, basically tracking referral, traffic, and revenue, of course, from ChatGPT in GA4. That was our single source of data, okay? So we're looking at that number week over week. Was it growing? Was it not growing? Iterating off of that, okay? Was it perfect? No. Was I hoping for more data? Absolutely. But I couldn't trust the data from the tools, so I didn't want to rely on bad data. Now, Tim Solo from Ahrefs more eloquently put my thoughts to paper, or to Twitter rather, about the problem with AI rank tracking tools. They rely on a custom list of prompts so that your data is actually biased from the moment you start using the tool. Okay, you put in your own keywords, and subconsciously or consciously, you're putting in keywords that you think you're probably already going to rank for, and the tool wants to keep you as a user, so it's going to inflate your data, right? Almost every AI rank tracker I saw that was a paid version massively overinflated our sources, or massively overinflated like our visibility. Okay, looking at like the SEMrush, I forgot what their tool is called. It's like $100 a month or something to do it. You can see like a preview of the keywords that you rank, like AI visibility on SEMrush, and it's all branded terms, right? You're going to rank for branded terms on AI the same as you would on Google. Okay, so these monitoring tools, maybe someone will crack in the future. Maybe a few brands already have. Okay, but I've seen a lot of them come out. It's like VC funding. Indie hackers have come out with them, and all of them are manipulated and puffed up to make the numbers look good. Okay, he literally put it in quotes right here, making the numbers look good to execs. So we're using GA4 data again, probably the most primitive data source, but also the most trustworthy. Okay. What we also didn't do, I didn't consult with any AEO GEO experts. Currently, I don't believe there are any out there. It's so new. I'm sure there's experts out there that have cracked it, right? But a lot of them are already SEO experts, and a lot of it is crossover. Okay. We also did not rewrite all of the client's content to be AEO, answer engine optimized. Okay. So what did we actually do to generate 100K? We built out 25 plus collections for long tail transactional keywords. I talk about this on my channel all the time. Something internally we call Moneyball SEO. I'll get into that. Competitor driven and middle funnel content. I'll get into that as well in this video. We built branded Reddit mentions. We're also doing more in the off season. It's November. People aren't buying pool heaters. Reddit's a good time to load up for next season. Built link insertions on relevant traffic sites. This is obvious, but I'll talk about it later. We also added schema. We also weighted. Okay. I'm going to talk about weighted later on, so let me just hold on to that for now. Now, Moneyball SEO. Brand had a singular pool heater page, as well as some other products they sell, but pool heaters was the core focus of the brand. We built out 25 plus collections, targeting basically sub-collections, sub-keywords, long-tail keywords, however you think about it, breaking those same pool heaters out into subcategories: above ground, in ground, 5,000 gallon, 7,000 gallon, 10,000 gallon, so on and so forth. Fixed speed, variable speed, inverter, and many, many more. Okay, I'm not going to list them all, but you get the point. Okay, it's not just a pool heater or a pool heat pump. It is so many more things. Okay, this is the best way to spread out your bets, take more shots on goal, whatever. Okay, you're trying to rank just for pool heaters, pool heat pumps. We do rank number one for that, actually. You're going to put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, you spread your eggs out, to use that analogy again, you have a higher likelihood of generating revenue on a shorter timeline. Okay, which is ultimately the goal for everyone. These longer tail keywords are less competitive and higher converting because of the specificity of the searcher. Someone who may be ready to buy searches for pool heaters. Someone who is definitely ready to buy is searching for 7,500 gallon pool heaters. Okay, the more words you add to a search, the more specific you are, the closer to purchase intent that person actually is. Competitor driven and middle funnel content. 3 main article types we created. I've talked about them extensively on this channel. I'm going to recap them again. Competitor comparison, literally one-to-one comparison of you and your competitor. We did this for the top, 10 competitors they had. Competitor reviews and alternatives. Same 10 competitors, article structured differently, reviews of the competitor, reviews of yourself, providing a list of alternatives, you being the main alternative on that list, okay? And then category buying guide, right? They sell pool heaters, pool heat pumps. We built out a few buying guides for that. Basically everything you would need to know before you're about to drop $3,000 on a pool heater, okay? If I'm going to spend $3,000, I want to know I want to know everything, quite frankly. Not nearly everything. I want to know everything I need to know before I make the purchase, okay? So these are very helpful in really building trust and moving users further down the funnel into customers, okay? We do so much of these for all of our clients right now. On a monthly basis, we probably knock out 30 to 40, maybe probably more, honestly, a month now. But we have a workflow that basically combs through the competitor reviews on the competitor site, branded Reddit mentions of that same competitor, and then Trustpilot and other third-party site reviews. We then take all that information, throw it into an AI workflow to build a dossier for each competitor. We also have one for our clients. Competitor dossiers, our client dossiers, thrown into an AI workflow, turns into an article that's about 80% complete. Our content team edits and optimizes the final 20%. Internal links, titles, headlines, fact checking, extra content, FAQs, things of that nature. Okay. And the last two things we did, these are not worth a full page, so I'm just going to get through them quickly. Build branded Reddit mentions in high traffic threads using aged Reddit accounts. Talked about this in the last few videos. Aged Reddit accounts skip the karma requirements that new accounts have. We can enter high traffic threads pretty much immediately. We use SEO tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs, whatever, and social listing tools to find high traffic and relevant threads. We then post in these using helpful advice and branded mentions. Okay, we're not just shilling the brand shamelessly in threads. We're also trying to like help the subreddit out, right? Because as we add comments about our brand, suggest the brand, like soft sell it, it's gonna look weak if it's just shilling. Okay, so we want to become a valuable, like I don't say a valuable member, but a contributing somewhat member of those subreddits. Build link insertions on relevant traffic sites. Still the most cost-effective way to build links for SEO and AEO, GEO now. Okay. It's more cost-effective in the short term and the long term than PR, and quite frankly, you get a lot more control over your links, and I like that. Okay, we do this only for our clients. We don't do PR links. I'm pretty over PR links, quite frankly. Link insertions give us more control, cost-effective, and they're really effective for driving results. Third thing, added schema. This is a screenshot from a search engine article. I couldn't find like a fun infographic to use with this, and I didn't want to create one. So. This is a study from Bright Edge, screenshot from Search Engine Journal, but the study was from Bright Edge demonstrating that schema markup improved brand presence and perception in Google's AI overviews. I couldn't find one that correlated with ChatGPT, but I will say we've gotten a lot more deliberate about schema implementation across all of our brands, and we're seeing better results in ChatGPT as a result, including this brand. Now, anecdotal kind of, I guess, I just call it anecdotal, but we're going to keep doing it, right? Last thing I did was wait, okay? Everyone and their mother had an opinion about how AEO worked, AI SEO worked, right? You had people saying like, oh, you got to get on listicles. Oh, you got to add FAQs. You got to optimize for answers. You got to do this. You got to do that, right? I would probably say a lot of my success in SEO has come from sticking to kind of the core principles, core things that I know to work, and evaluating anything new, like evaluating it through a filter, okay? So let's say you hear like 100 new tactics about AI SEO or just SEO, right? Let's say I hear 100, okay? Knowing what I know about SEO, I can pretty much write off probably 90, 95 of them right away, knowing they're not going to work, or they're going to work in some crazy rare edge case that's not going to be applicable to the majority of our clients in our service, okay? The remaining 5 to 10, I'll kind of put in a priority list, test as I go, and that's how I'll do it, okay? We didn't jump to adding 100 AI rank tracking tools to our tech stack. One, it's expensive. Two, as I said earlier, and many people have said, they're simply not that accurate. We didn't rewrite all the content to be AEO. Like, none of that happened, okay? We just waited. We executed what we did, and we added a few more tags on top of it, okay? Strategy didn't change. It's like 80S. I was actually scrolling through Tim Solo from Ahrefs' tweets before to find that screenshot. I said 80% of AEO was traditional SEO. He says he estimated 90%. Whatever, okay? 80-90% of AEO, AI SEO, GEO, whatever is traditional SEO, okay? So if you think about a sliding scale, like traditional SEO, what we already did was covering 80% of it. The remaining 20%, competitor comparison articles, Reddit mentions, schema, more deliberate schema implementation, and we added a few FAQs. Like, that's what I would say. Like, that's the remaining 20%. Maybe it's the remaining 19%, and you're 99% of the way there. Okay, still very good and still better than pretty much everyone out there. Now, is AEO the future? I don't know, right? I've tried to buy a few things off ChatGPT. I've tried to buy supplements for myself. The recommendations were like all Amazon listings, and I checked the reviews, and it was like 2.5 stars out of 5 for like all the products it suggested me. So for me, I've not actually bought anything directly through ChatGPT. Tried to shop around for a few things. I've gotten like gift ideas a few times, but I've actually gone to Google to make the purchase. Okay, I don't know. That's me. Other consumers obviously behave differently, but that's just me. Now, what I do know, the largest LLMs in the world scrape Google for their content. So if you perform well on Google, you will do well in AEO, okay? Back to that 89% number. If you're doing well on Google, like that is covering most of your foundation of AEO. There are many studies out there that show this direct correlation. Next up, Google continues to grow daily. Brands are scaling their Google Ads budgets because they believe in the future of the platform. I don't think Google is going anywhere. I don't think OpenAI is a Google killer, as people have somehow dubbed it. Going off that, I also believe that Google is best positioned to dominate anything AI over a long enough time horizon because of their infrastructure and their time in the game. I do believe they have a much bigger moat and a much better likelihood of succeeding over a longer time horizon than OpenAI, okay? What OpenAI has done, Perplexity has done, Claude has done, nothing short of impressive. However, I'm betting on the incumbent, quite frankly. I also believe pursuing a solely AEO strategy is stupid. I've seen brands do it. I've seen them absolutely crater their organic search revenue as a result. And I've seen them quite frankly not get anywhere, right? They've done an AEO strategy and they use one tool to track it, and that tool is overinflating the metrics, and all of a sudden they're tracking like incorrect data, basically. Pursuing a solely SEO strategy, probably irresponsible over the long term, pretty responsible in the short term, but we're building long-term brands here. So what I recommend, traditional SEO strategy, core SEO strategy, whatever you want to think about, however you want to think about that. Plus, Reddit mentions hyper-specific landing pages. That's the Moneyball SEO. Deliberately using schema, FAQs on your product pages, backlinks consistently, competitor-driven content. Okay, that's what we're doing. That's our stack. Will we add more? Probably. Will we take things out as we learn more? Potentially. Okay, but that's what we're doing for AEO. That's how we're able to generate $110,000 for this brand. And if you want it done for you, first off, go watch this interview with the head of e-commerce. I just did this with him last week. And if you like it, you want to chat, you can book a discovery call with me using the link below. Peace.